It's been 2 years since the defeat of the self-proclaimed ISIS caliphate in Syria and 10 years since the start of the civil war in the country, and the strategy in the anti-terrorist fight has changed. The focus is now on offensive against the sleeper cells. In most of Syria, the war is now over and the government of President Bashar al-Assad appears to be the clear victor. But nearly a quarter of the population now lives in Idlib and parts of nearby regions, the last remaining opposition stronghold. In this channel, we brief every month incidents in Syria, so if you like to be always up to date about Syria, hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Let's jump to April 2021. During April, ISIS launched several attacks against SDF and Syrian Arab armies in the provinces of Deir ez-Zor, Dar'a, Hama, Raqqa, Homs, Quneitara and al-Suwaida. In total, SDF lost 12 men and Syrian Arab Army lost 19 men in the fights with ISIS during April. The danger of a rebirth of ISIS is no media exaggeration, it's a real. Syria is no longer facing an army but a myriad of sleeper cells of ISIS. Spread across the region, they carry out isolated attacks and no longer use heavy weapons and artillery. Instead, they employ explosive belts and light weapons, which are enough to create chaos among the population and keep up a war of attrition against the Kurdish Arab militias. Also, Russian Air Force conducted airstrikes in Syria against ISIS. On April 3rd, after the Russian Air Force conducted over 70 airstrikes mostly in the Hama desert, 13 ISIS militants killed. On April 19th, Russian warplanes executed airstrikes in militant facilities and weapons in central Syria, near the city of Palmyra. The Russian Defense Ministry claimed that some 200 militants, along with 24 vehicles and weapons and 500 kilograms of ammunition and explosives were destroyed in the operation. The coalition air force was not too busy on April and conducted only one drone attack. On April 4th, a British Royal Air Force drone targeted a small group of ISIS members in northern Syria, 50 miles west of al-Assad, leaving several militants dead, but the exact numbers of deaths are unknown. Also, Kurdish forces conducted some operations too. On April 6th, a landmine explosion in Tal Tamr between Kashka and al-Rihaniya left 4 Turkish soldiers killed and 7 others injured. In the same day, Syrian Democratic Forces targeted Turkish troops in Afrin, killing 2 soldiers. On April 21st, 5 Syrian soldiers were killed and 3 others were wounded after Uzbek jihadists launched an infiltration operation against Syrian forces in the village of al-Ruwayha in the southern Idlib countryside. 3 Uzbek jihadists were also killed in the operation. On April 27th, 1 rebel fighter and 2 Syrian soldiers lost their lives after the 2 sides exchanged the sniper fire in the front lines of Idlib. On April 29th, a Syrian army commander was killed after exchanges of artillery fire and gunfire between Syrian Arab Army and the rebel forces on the Idlib front. Also, some clashes happened between Kurdish forces and the Syrian Arab Army. On April 20th, clashes between the Syrian government's militia and forces of the SDF broke out in the city of al-Qamishli. Israel airstrikes have decreased in comparison to March. On April 22nd, Israeli missiles were once again fired at Damascus, killing 1 Syrian army officer. 3 other soldiers were also wounded by the attack. An Iranian oil tanker was attacked off the Syrian coast. It's unclear who launched the attack, however, it's suspected that the drone originated from the direction of the Lebanese waters did the attack. In total, Syrian Arab Army lost at least 35 men in the fights with ISIS, rebels, SDF and Israel. SDF lost 13 men mostly in clashes with ISIS. Also, 213 ISIS militants killed during the Russian and coalition airstrikes. In the northwest of Syria, Turkish-backed rebels lost at least 6 men in fight with Syrian Arab Army and YPG. Also, 2 civilians lost their lives too. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.